Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0, and it's all over for Man City, surely. 11 points behind Liverpool, whether it's December the 1st or May the 1st. That's the sort of lead, no games in hand, where if Liverpool were to lose this title to Man City, it's unavoidable. I understand Liverpool fans will say, it's only December the 1st, we're not getting carried away with yourselves. I'd do the same if it was United. But looking at it pragmatically, 11-point gap, it's over for Man City. You should not be letting them back into it. And the most important thing is, we're all labouring under this whole, well, Man City are a juggernaut. They're capable of going and winning loads and loads of games. Nah, I don't see it at the moment. That's not the Man City we're used to. It's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. That was a domination, and Pep Guardiola had no answer. And I tell you what, I'm not being kidded by the PR of Pep after the game. Walking onto the pitch with a smile, shaking everybody's hand, going to the away fans, applauding the Anfield fans. That's just PR. That's like, I had a meltdown after Feyenoord. Now I've just got to be humble and, act like, whatever. I'm not falling in for that. You're not the great Pep at the moment. You absolutely got dominated. Slot destroyed everything you tried. You had a little bit of joy with Doku. He brought Kwanzaa on. You had no answer across 90 minutes. Your man of the match was Ortega. Your defenders had more blocks than Lego. It was a domination. It was like watching Liverpool play a bad Southampton side. And instead of getting beaten 6-0, they get 2-0. It was atrocious from Man City from start to finish. It should have been 3-0 down at 10 minutes. The second goal came from a penalty in the second half. There was so many chances for Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool were wasteful, but on another day, they could have won 5 or 6-0. And that's Man City's response after losing their last 3 Premier League games in a row, after losing a 3-0 lead against Feyenoord last Wednesday, going into a game where they have to at least get a draw to keep their title hopes alive. And it was just resignation football. I find it remarkable. He's got to rebuild that team somehow. And the big issue is that this is a manager. And look, last season, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle, Brighton, not an excuse to have an injury crisis. He's got one player out. And we all know that's the excuse. And yet, loads of other clubs. Liverpool lost Salah for a couple of months last season and it derailed their season in Klopp's last few months. Not an excuse though. Not an excuse. And yet with Man City, we all know the excuse. They're a one-man team. Without Rodri, they're absolutely bang average. And they got dominated and Pep's got no answer. And I think the answer is Pep Guardiola in the fastest car with the best fuel and the best tyres is the best driver. But you put him in a car where he's got a bit of challenging to do, he hasn't got the ability. He's a chef who, if he hasn't got the best ingredients, he can't cook something nice. Look at Barcelona with Messi and co. Look at Bayern Munich, the dominant German juggernaut. And then look at him in Man City. When they're good, they're good. But when things go bad, this is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And I don't see a way back. It'll be interesting to see what Man City do because Pep Guardiola signed a 2-year contract. But we shouldn't be dressing this up anything other than what it is. That was an appalling response from Man City to their recent bad form, where their best excuse was that Liverpool destroyed them because they're a better team. Their worst excuse is they're still playing crap. And it was easy for Liverpool. Take your choice. I'll talk about Liverpool in a moment. But with Man City, for me, it's over. 11 points is too big, the form they're in. It would take something unprecedented for them to come back and get above Liverpool for May because they're not playing well and their players look like they know they're vulnerable as well, and that makes them even more vulnerable. I just don't see a way back. If Rodri was coming back with his bionic knee, maybe, but I just don't see it. They'll win some games. They're not going to keep losing, but their top 4 status looks vulnerable at the moment, which would be incredible. So, absolutely done, Man City, and I thought that was... I never thought we were going to see Man City's fall-off happen like this. I thought it would be the court case if they get found guilty. But to see what's happening in a footballing sense over the last month, it's just... Spurs deserve to beat them. Liverpool deserve to beat them. Brighton deserve to beat them. Bournemouth deserve to beat them. No luck involved. They were the better team in all of those games, and that's Man City's problem. As for Liverpool, I can only applaud them. We spoke about this on Friday. All Liverpool had to do, and I say all, was keep their good form up and utilise the vulnerability of Man City by getting at them and getting the crowd up for it. And the first 10 minutes were perfection. They went for them from the first second. They created chance after chance after chance. Obviously, Gakpo scored the one goal. They could have had 2 or 3 in different ways. There was a couple of shots straight at Ortega. Van Dijk could have had a couple, but they got that early goal. And then they just looked for the sucker punch on the break whilst maintaining good possession. And that's what they did. They got it with a Stonewall penalty. 2-0 really could have been 4 or 5 or 6. And Liverpool's mentality and Arne Slot's tactical acumen was absolutely spot on. I think the interesting thing for Liverpool is at the moment is, again, it's remarkable how well Slot's done, taking over from Klopp. Look, Jurgen Klopp deserves a lot of credit for the foundation. And obviously there's players that he's picked up like Van Dijk and Alisson and Salah and Trent and Robertson who have so much experience. But it still takes a manager that can take that, make them believe, and then make them consistent. I remember Slot saying a couple of months ago that after their good start that really he doesn't expect them to start clicking until late November. So if they actually can get better, it's scary what they can do. I think the only thing about Liverpool is that Arsenal, Chelsea 9 points behind, Man City 11 points behind. Their next job is to maintain that. If you can make it bigger, great. But if they can maintain those gaps, it will just gradually sap any hope from those chasing clubs because those gaps are massive. But if one of them can get that gap down to 5 or 6 points, it will give them hope for the second half of the season. Liverpool's next few games, looking at Newcastle away, Everton away. If they go and win both of those, nobody can get any closer. And I think that's what Slot will be looking at. It's now, you've worked hard to get that lead. Can you maintain that lead? Because really, winning the title for Liverpool now is not opening the door for anybody. So you've worked hard to get your lead. You've now got to work hard just to keep that lead. And hopefully other teams behind them will drop points. That's what they'll be thinking. But they were so good. They were so good. I thought all 3 midfielders were good. Salah was obviously fantastic. Diaz and Gakpo and Nunez, when he came on, worked really well. Robertson was relentless down the left-hand side. Van Dijk was flawless. Gomez came in and did really well as well. And Kelleher and Trent had good games as well. It was just an all-round good performance. And that was going to be the issue. They beat Real Madrid. They're top of the league. They're top of the Champions League. They're playing well. They've got Man City coming, who are playing badly. It's the biggest game of the season. We've seen it time and time again. It ends up being a 0-0 draw because it's the biggest game of the season and they just, neither team turns up. So Liverpool's biggest problem today was, will they turn up? And they bloody did. And that doesn't always happen in the big games. They made Man City look like Southampton. With all due respect to Southampton, they dominated them. Absolutely dominated. Liverpool might have won that game 3-2 because they're better side. But Man City looked bad and Liverpool dominated them. That's the statement. Whether there's a shift in English football now, we'll have to wait and see. But Man City just looked very ordinary today. And I never would have thought that was coming. I don't even know why it's happened. But, well, I do. I think it's Rodri. I think Man City have just lost the person that held them together. And I suppose for Liverpool, that's the thing with Salah, isn't it? If they let him go. But that's for another day. Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.